welcome to We Win New. Prepare to be on the edge of your seat as we dive into heart-pounding, real-life aviation incidents captured on camera just moments before catastrophe struck. Buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like and share as we take you through these unforgettable aviation moments. Now let's go.
Stay behind the crowd line. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay exactly where you are behind.
Taken on June 24, 1993, MiG-29S belonging to the Russian Flight Research Institute collided during their performance at the Royal International Air Tattoo airshow at RAF Fairford. The story behind this incident is quite interesting. Both pilots escaped without a scratch, even though one of them had to eject from an inverted position. It occurred during the Red Bull Air Race in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 2007. When the pilot saw a plane standing just a few meters in front of him, he stopped immediately and destroyed his propeller. The man's light aircraft came down after losing power during an aerobatics display and landed on its underside in May 2017. Dozens of spectators witnessed the crash at the Abingdon Air and Country Show in Abingdon, Oxfordshire at around 2 p.m. An incident involving members of the Russian Knights aerobatic team during the Slovak International Air Display at Bratislava Airport, Slovakia on September 15, 1997. A United Express flight was forced to make a belly landing at Los Angeles International Airport after part of the landing gear would not deploy. All 43 passengers and crew safely got off the plane. A major accident was averted after a helicopter carrying 7 people, including 6 pilgrims and the pilot, made an emergency landing after it developed a technical snag while trying to land at the helipad at Kedarnath Shrine. The pilot did not lose his patience and showed wisdom and made an emergency landing at the helicopter. GUSTV, better known by its wartime marking Black 6, was performing a solo display at Duxford Airfield in 1997. In view of the rarity and historical significance of this airframe, it was repaired and statically displayed at Duxford and at the RAF Museum, Hendon, London. With a very limited selection of landing spots in the mountains, they decide for a wheat field. While definitely not the prettiest landing, it was the safest choice. Iconic C-47 Blue Bonnet Bell crashed on July 21, 2018 in Burnett, Texas.
Turn.
The flight was originating at the time of the accident with an intended destination of Sedalia Regional Airport, Sedalia, Missouri. If you saw it on a TV police show, you would dismiss it as being too far-fetched. Officers used their car to chase and then ram into a moving plane, smashing off a wing, to stop it from taking to the air. The reason they did it? The plane contains a gang of drug smugglers. In 2017, a light plane crashed into the Swan River in Perth during Australia Day celebrations, prompting the cancellation of Perth's Skyworks show, which was attracting 300,000 people.
Whoa! It crashed or what? Oh, it's crashed.
The plane was following another aircraft south along the river before it banked, stalled, and nosedived into the river.
Oh.
Pero en segundos la aeronave se salió del que parecía ser su curso.
The plane was operated by Colombian Air Patrol, a non-profit organization that helps people with medical assistance in remote places of Colombia, on March 22, 2006. On March 23, 2009, a cargo aircraft from Gwangju Baiyun International Airport in China to Narita International Airport near Tokyo, Japan, crashed during landing at Narita. During the landing, the aircraft experienced a hard touchdown, leading to a series of bounces known as porpoising. Here is the dramatic crash landing of a Cessna at Florida's Kissimmee Airport in March 2018. Although the airplane touched down on a narrow, tree-lined Martin Luther King Boulevard Tuesday afternoon, neither the pilot nor his passenger was seriously injured. On March 31, 2018, a Yak-3, a World War II Soviet fighter aircraft, crashed while taxiing along the runway after landing. The aircraft suffered damage to one wing. The pilot was not injured. During takeoff from St. Martin's Princess Juliana International Airport, a plane unleashes an incredibly powerful jet blast that sends sand, beach towels, and even beachgoers flying at Mahu Beach.
Look at all the people's stuff.
A small plane had to make an emergency landing at Maneta San Jose International Airport after the pilot reported problems with putting down his landing gear. The pilot circled the area for nearly 90 minutes to burn fuel in preparation for the emergency landing. Belarusian Air Force crashed during the second day of the Radom International Air Show 2009 in east-central Poland. The results of the investigation were never released, on the request of the Belarusian government, however. It is believed that the crash was caused by a pilot error, who flew the aircraft too low and too slow. On August 30, 2007, the aircraft crashed at the Cameron Park Airfield in Sierra Nevada, California. It was already seemingly above its maximum certified takeoff weight. In an improvised attempt to deal with harsh winter conditions, an airport employee at Vnukovo International Airport in Russia was seen using a simple traffic cone to manually scrape ice from the surface of an aircraft.
Aerobatic ride number 9. Aerobatic ride number 9. Oh my God!
Two Boeing Stearmen collided at the Flying Circus Aerodrome, Virginia on August 20, 2022. Landing aircraft had the right-of-ways over aircraft taking off. On September 1, 2007, a tragic accident occurred during an air show in Radom, Poland, known as the Radom Air Show, one of the country's largest aviation events. On August 20, 2011, a biplane crashed during the Kansas City Air Show after the plane appeared unable to get out of a downward spiral.
Totally out of control.
That's not good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have emergency personnel.
Look at that. What are they calling?
Hey everyone, we do have...
The Greek Air Force water bombing plane crashed while diving into a wildfire in southern Greece. The Canadair aircraft crashed into a ravine close to where the fire started. A United Boeing performing flight from Denver, Colorado to Honolulu, Hawaii, engine inlet separation and failure. The aircraft was subsequently towed off the runway to a remote parking stand. Revelers in Cocoa Beach, Florida, witnessed an unplanned ocean landing. The pilot, who put the plane down mere yards from the crowd, is okay, not injured. A Lufthansa Airbus performing flight from Frankfurt, Germany to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was under tow to the departure gate at Frankfurt's terminal when the tow truck caught fire. The flames substantially damaged the aircraft as well. A scene from the first parachute training in 2016. The UH-1 helicopter landed hard due to a tailwind. It quickly regained balance and landed successfully. It was a little scary, but I'm glad it ended safely. helicopter outfitted with water landing pontoons in calm seas decides to land instead in a visibility-restricted confined area on a ship with an inadequate space, not designed as a landing pad. An aerobatic plane is racing just above the Vistula River, Poland, in 2011. The plane hits the water surface at a speed of 230 kilometers per hour. Here the pilot put a lot of things together. A sharp right turn, a high vertical speed of descent, which means the possibility of a vortex ring, and a turn into a tailwind.
Sí.
Los están cogiendo, Están vivos.
Several things may have occurred here, from winds, wake, pilot input, design, or a combination of all. A Cessna aircraft, piloted by a Chinese student undertaking a solo training flight, crashed on the empty grass beside the runway. Nose wheel would not come down. Pilot burnt off fuel and performed the inevitable landing.
Oh my God, this is gonna go.
On the famous Maho beach in Sint Maarten, a group of girls experienced the full force of jet blast winds of the plane. A helicopter crashed in the countryside in Boa Vista da Aparecida, Brazil. On August 5, 1991, during the Northeast Flight 91 airshow in Schenectady, New York, a Canadian Forces Sea King helicopter lost altitude while performing a hover maneuver in front of a crowd of spectators. The footage shows the aircraft spiraling towards the ground before erupting into flames in Rowlett, Texas. The video shows how the aircraft crashed in the Santa Catarina Ixtahuacan Field, Guatemala, on January 20, 2015. helicopter crashed on a steep slope near spectators at the Buffalo Bill downhill longboard competition at Lookout Mountain in Golden, Colorado. All 3 passengers of the helicopter walked away safely.
Get out of there! Somebody in there?
A plane slid off a runway while landing at Yangon Airport in Myanmar as a freak storm hit the city. The nose and both wings were damaged.
Where's the captain? Where's the captain of the plane?
On March 26, 2018, an airplane was destroyed when it impacted terrain shortly after takeoff at Marina Municipal Airport, Marina, California. This was the moment a Royal Navy pilot crash-landed his classic aircraft perilously close to thousands of spectators, then hopped out to a round of applause. Rather than just parachute himself to safety, he managed to glide his plane to the ground. Pilot crashed during first solo flight. Fortunately, the only thing harmed in this crash was the pilot's ego. A Russian passenger jet burst into flames on May 5, 2019, while attempting an emergency landing at a Moscow airport. Passengers were seen fleeing across the tarmac. A single-engine plane crashed behind a residential area during the 2022 Reno Air Races in Nevada. This was an accident that was caught on camera during filming for Top Gear Korea. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. On 17 October 2022, a military aircraft crashed into an apartment building in Russia. A large fireball was visible upon impact, causing a fire in the 9-story building.
Саша, текай быстрее! Саша, бегом! Люди, здесь нет никого!
Holy crap. Holy crap.
Maintenance team runs a jet end to fuel leak detection. Fire burning from the exhaust confirms the presence of leakage. A small passenger plane veered off the runway on arrival at the international airport in Mogadishu. All others were safely rescued.
Relax! Everybody out! Quick! What? The pilot is here!
Kuwait Air Force F-18 Hornet getting struck by lightning and got a loud sound in their helmet. Flames shoot out of a plane's engine that just took off from Los Angeles.
Oh, come on.
A flight test with a plane failed to gain sustainable flight and crashed. It happened at Gimli, Canada, on August 27, 1992.
I cannot believe it.
A too-short landing at an Army Reserve base in California caused substantial damage to air tractor surveillance. Aerosukro Flight 157 overran the runway during takeoff, striking the fence before becoming airborne, ultimately losing control and crashing.
No, marica, ¿pa' dónde?
A Mexican Air Force received damages to its main rotor blades after they hit the water while doing maneuvers at low altitude over the sea. The finish line is here. Don't forget to give us a like button and share your road encounters in the comments. And don't miss the video on the right side of the screen. See you soon.